mean, one of the things you can do is you can create your own folders within your folder as well. So if you find that you're adding a lot of stuff and you want to be able to segment it more easily, by all means, create a folder within your folder for whatever you need, but just make sure that you are going to your folder. That's really, I can't emphasize that enough. So that's pretty much the content block area.
If you are putting in a number of documents up and you decide later to reorganize, does it automatically adjust the links on the page to reflect the new organization, the new folder structure?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. This interface is fairly new, and I used to not even be able to change folder names, and now I can. My guess is that because you can now change folder names and change those items, that by default it updates any links already created. But I'll have to check for you, because I actually don't know the answer.
I have one other question.
Sure.
And it sort of relates to the PayPal companies. Are all embed codes problematic, or just PayPal?
Just the PayPal ones, for whatever reason. And the issue was that it was actually only Internet Explorer that was really creating a problem. The other browsers seemed to be okay with it, but if you were in Internet Explorer, for whatever reason, it wasn't working. So other embed files are fine. I haven't had an issue dropping in like YouTube videos, like Flickr, slideshows. I've never had issues with any of the other embed stuff. So I think it was only the PayPal. Let me just write this down about the question about reorganizing your folder, because I'm not sure. I'll have to double check.
It's always good to, I know from experience, it's always good to go back and check to make sure that everything is working properly before you let it go live.
That's excellent advice, because I find that even one of the things about the content editor that you'll notice is if you've gone ahead and dropped in a hyperlink or an image, and then you decide to move it around. So I'm just going to sort of give you an example. Like, I'm going to drop in an image. So I'm going to drop this image in here, and I'm going to click Save. And then if I decide later that, I don't like the image being in that location, I'm going to move it. You can't actually just drag and I can't, if I were to move this up here above test and click Save, that link after I've moved it like that is now broken. You actually have to go in and insert the link again, or use the HTML code and do it that way. But see how the image has now disappeared? If you're going to move, once you drop an image into this, you have to actually either leave it there, or if you want to move it, go ahead and drop it in again using the image manager. So that's sort of one of the quirks I've noticed using the content editor, is that images, they're kind of funny, and same with links. Like if you're going to move hyperlinked text around, your best bet is to just relink it. So if nobody has any other questions about the content editor, I'll move on. So let's see. I'm going to actually go to the sitemap now, because I think that in many ways it's the most useful part of the site. When you click on the sitemap, you are going to see the entire website's map. So you'll see, all of our pages from the Alumni Association. You'll see all of the other chapter pages. But what you'll see is when you're in your own chapter, you will see that your chapter pages are expanded. And this is where you can click and say, oh, you know what, I want to go straight to the home page. I'm going to highlight it. When you're in the sitemap, you see the page properties displayed to the right on any page that you've selected, which is useful, I think, just so you know, if you're in here and you want to know, oh, why can't I see this page? Oh, well, I guess it's because I accidentally had exclude this page from navigation selected. So for some reason, you know you created a page, but you can't see it here. You go to the sitemap and it will show up as this orange color. So for instance, I'm going to exclude the About page from navigation just as a little test. And then I'm going to close and refresh. And it's disappeared now. So say you've worked on a page, you forgot, you thought that you had made it visible, and you're like, oh my goodness, where is that page? I know I made it. If you go to the sitemap, all pages you've ever created will show up there as long as you haven't deleted them. And if you see that it's in this orange color, you'd be like, oh, that's why, you know, I accidentally excluded the page from navigation. And so you can always find a page that you've created by going to the sitemap. The other really cool thing that you do in the sitemap is you can actually reorder your pages here on the left. So if you right-click on your chapter header and you click Sort Channel, you can then move around the order of these options here on the left. So say the Swab Summer Picnic, you're like, you know what, that's really important. I want that to be, actually I want it to be right under Events. So I'm going to click Save. I'm going to move it up there and I'm going to click Save. And it's doing its thing. One of the other advantages is this is where you would go to delete a page. So if you say, you know what, I don't want, looks like it's taken its time. All right, there we go. All right, so see it's been moved to below Events. Say, you know, Swab Summer Picnic is over and you are never going to use this page ever again, or you created a page and you didn't mean to, you could right-click it and click Remove. It will double-check with you before you do it, and if you're really sure, then you can say, yep, I definitely don't want that page anymore. And the page has been deleted.
Where you make child pages? Well?
This would be where you would make a child page. Exactly. That's what I was getting to next. Great. So if you wanted to create a page under contact, such as, you know, chapter officers, when you create from the sitemap, as you'll notice, it automatically opens up the content editor for your page, allows you to name the page, and then gives you the opportunity to go ahead and put in some, you know, the text straight there. So, you know, test person 2. And you can just create the page and the content right from the sitemap. And there it is. And then you can go to the page. And there it is. One of the other things about the sitemap is if you decide that you've created a page and you want it to be a child page. So say you want photos to actually be under events because all the photos you post are only ever of events, then you can hold it and drag and drop it right into events. And it will ask you, do you want to move photos under events? Yep, I do. And there it is. The one thing I would advise is never move your home option from the top and never move the position of back to CGA Parents website. I've placed both of those links there. on every chapter page as part of sort of the template so that people can always easily get back to the parents' website or back to your home page. So I would advise not moving those